Welcome to another episode of Racing to Learn. So, who we are a nonprofit that uses radio controlled vehicles to get kids excited about math and science. So, one of the questions that I get asked a lot is how do I get started in radio controlled cars or trucks, or where do I even start as a parent or as a kid or whoever? I mean, how do we get started? What's the price point? What's a good first vehicle to buy? And I have two such examples here. I usually suggest the 1/10 monster trucks just because 1/10 scale, meaning they're a tenth the size of the real thing. But these trucks are extremely durable, right? They are a lot of fun to run. You can pretty much jump them off of anything. Bring them to the park, bring them in the backyard or wherever, bring them in the snow, and just have a lot of fun doing what radio control folks call bashing, right? Pretty much, not racing competitively, but just having fun with these. Much like you would, go skateboarding or whatnot, or or extreme sports of whatever type that you may be interested in. Just thrashing these things and jumping them off of ledges, going down stairs, off of ramps, etc. Or just having fun in the dirt, grass, what have you. So the first on the left here we have the Traxxas Stampede, and this has pretty much been the standard for the last 10-15 years in terms of a 10 scale monster truck. So part support is excellent. You can even get parts at your your local Pep Boys store or whatnot. Of course, your local hobby shop also will pretty much stock every part that you can possibly break on one of these things. They'll have those in stock. Really the benchmark in terms of monster trucks. This is what the Traxxas Slash is based off of too. So there's a lot of parts interchangeability there, and both of these trucks on the right we have the ECX Ruckus. Both of these come as what we call RTRs, or ready to runs, and that means that you get the radio control itself, the controller, the truck, and pretty much everything that you need to run battery and charger. Everything is included in one box, and you can pretty much grab this box or grab this ready to run and start running it, charge the battery, and maybe supply your own AA's and just go out there and have fun. So check the pricing for these at your local hobby shop, but the entry point is around $200 plus or minus, right? So if you have a coupon or there's some sort of sale going on, you might be able to get these for cheaper, but these are going to be around $250, right? And these particular ones that you see, I actually have brushless systems on, which are a little more powerful but also a little more expensive, right? So for around the $200 entry point, you're looking at a brush setup, which is a little bit less efficient and powerful, but those aren't bad things when you're first getting started, right? You don't want to go out there and start breaking parts right away. So I highly recommend both of these. I actually like the ECX Ruckus more in terms of drivability and fun, because as you can see from the video here, you do have a longer, actually a pretty significant difference in wheelbase here. The Ruckus is about 2.5, maybe 3 inches longer in terms of wheelbase. That's the distance between the tires here, right? So what that equates to is better handling. So the Ruckus on the right here handles a lot better than the Stampede. The Stampede, especially with this brushless system, has a tendency to wheelie a lot. Of course, you're not going to get that with a brush system because of the lesser power of the power plant. But I like these both. I would highly recommend these both. Both excellent choices to get started with. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably go with the Ruckus. The cons of the Ruckus are that part support isn't as good as the Traxxas Stampede, right? If you go to your local hobby shop, they may or may not stock parts that break. But again, it doesn't happen very often, right? But if it does, you may be stuck having the parts special ordered or ordering them yourself online, and that's going to be downtime in terms of time that you're not running these cars outside. So again, the 1/10 scale monster trucks, very durable. You can pretty much run them over anything. You can run through mud. Both of these are waterproof, right? So you can go through puddles and whatnot. You can go through, wet, muddy situations, jump them at the skate park, make your own ramps, run them through the dirt, the grass. Just a lot of fun. So my son loves these monster trucks. I mean, that's why we have two of them, at least two of them. So we just have a lot of fun with these. These are both really simple to work on too. So these are two-wheel drive. So only the two rear wheels are being driven, right? So a lot simpler in terms of parts, stuff that could break, and that's a good thing when you're first getting started, right? Also, there's no mechanicals, meaning no driven differentials or whatnot in the front of the car. So when you crash into something, you're not going to break anything in terms of drive line, right? You may break some things in terms of the steering and the turnbuckles, we call them here. In this Traxxas, I've actually only broken two parts, and they were both in the steering part here. So you'll see this blue aluminum piece. That's an upgraded part that had broken when I crashed into I think it was a tree or something that was stationary and cracked it, and also the servo saver down here. So what a servo saver does is that it kind of buffers the shock going to this little servo, which is a motor that turns the wheels, right? So I had that servo saver brake, which is a lot better than having the servo brake. So I just put in a more heavy duty unit from Kimbrough there, and I was back on the road. So only those two parts I have broken. And this truck I got in for a lot less than the $200 I mentioned before. I actually bought this truck used off of Craigslist for, believe it or not, $50. And that's another question in itself. Well, do you want to buy used or new? And it's much like buying a full-size car, new or used, right? If you buy used, you don't have a warranty, and you don't know what the previous owner did with the car, right? If they maintained it or not, if they took care of it or just abused it. So there is a little bit of risk there, but if you're willing to get your hands dirty, the nice thing about these cars is that everything is replaceable, right? So one thing that I tell my colleagues and friends a lot about these radio-controlled hobby-grade cars is that if anything breaks, you can easily replace a single part. Whereas if you buy one of those cheaper toy-grade radio-controlled cars, if anything breaks, you're pretty much throwing that car away, that car or truck away. So that's the beauty of these. You can buy a radio-controlled car for your kid or yourself, and really play with it, enjoy it for a long time, right? Work on it, and since everything is replaceable, as long as you can find the parts, as long as they don't go out of production, you can drive these things indefinitely, because again, all parts can be replaced or upgraded. So I'll go ahead and wrap up this episode, but again, we've got the ECX Ruckus here and the Stampede two-wheel drive, both 1/10 scale monster trucks, and highly recommend them both. Great way to get into radio control, and whether you're a kid or an adult or a kid of any age. So that's it for this episode of Racing to Learn. Please feel free to leave a comment or subscribe to us, or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/racing2learn.